Okay guys, back in the shop, finish up the Samurai shocks. Just gonna work on grinding them off today, and hopefully the new shocks will be here by the end of the week and we can get them all installed and ready to go. Okay, today we're gonna be focused on the passenger side, getting all this stuff cut off and grinded down. Got to be a little careful. I got the fuel filter right here with fuel lines. So I'm gonna wrap them with some wet rags and hopefully that'll be good enough. Maybe do a little bit more when I go to weld. But for today, I'm just got a little bit of time to kill, so I'm gonna start cutting and grinding. Okay, I got the main piece of the bracket cut off. Just gotta cut this off. It's 2 layers of steel down to the frame. Then this piece off. I got some wet rag shoved up there with fuel, so we should be good to go. Okay, got it bracket mostly cut off. Here's what was on there. It was 3 layers of differing thicknesses. Now we're just gonna hopefully clean that up and get the next bracket ready to weld on. Okay, got it all ground off pretty smooth. I've got a couple little, where I went a little deep, I got to weld and smooth out. And we will trim the bracket down and weld it in place and get new shocks put on here. Okay, got them all welded in. Now we'll just smooth them out with the grinder. Okay, we seem to be having some issues with the microphones not recording every time. I gotta make sure we get that figured out. Just finished welding up this bracket. Gonna get it cleaned up and painted. Rear shocks installed. Since the brackets moved a little bit from where they were when I bought it, the shocks are a little bit long, so I'm gonna swap these ones to the front and order a little bit shorter ones for the rear, and we'll swap them out. Okay, since we got the rear shocks done on the Samurai, I'm going to pull this one front one off and just compare length. And if it's the same length as the rears, I'm going to order shorter ones for the rears and put the rears up front. But either way, I'm ordering new shocks. It just depends on the length. So I think I'm a little too long in the back now because where I relocated the mounts are a little shorter now. Well, I'd say maybe this is why my ride quality is not great in this. I think they were working the opposite of what they're supposed to do. Okay, based on these at full extension, the front is actually about 2 inches longer than the rears. So I think I'll get 2-inch shorter ones, put on the rear, put the rear ones on the front, because I think they're just a hair, like a 1/2 inch longer than these ones are. That I took off just because that's how they fit. Throw them on here and hope they're not too short, and I guess it'll work to limit our travel, I suppose. So that's gonna be my plan. So we'll get them ordered and hopefully get them put on. Okay, it's been a few days, but we got the new shocks in for the rear. So what we're gonna do is, these are the new ones. They're going to go on the rear because they're about 1.5 inches shorter than the ones I bought. And then we're going to put the longer rear ones on the front. And that should give us a good ride, we're hoping. Moving it over to work on it, we discovered we've got a fuel leak suddenly, so that'll be next to deal with. Okay, so here's a comparison between the old ones and the new ones are a little shorter on the new ones. But I think the rear ones were a little long, so I only had about 3 inches of shaft showing at just ride height. So maybe a little shorter. It'll still hopefully flex as good. Might keep me from flexing too much. So we'll put these ones on the rear, these ones on the front. I was going to take it for a test drive, but now we got a fuel problem to fix, so we probably won't get a test drive in today. Okay, passenger side's done. All bolted up. Front one in. Turn the wheel to full lock so I could get into this front a little easier. I think I'm going to go ahead and do the bottom first this side, because that bolt goes all the way through the links or whatever. So the bolt on the top trying to compress the shock and get it lined up and push through there was a little tricky. But we'll get that done and look at the fuel leak maybe, just see if I can see what part I need. I'm hoping it's just a fuel line or maybe the pump's bad. Now it turns out we have a whole other problem, because putting this front shock back on, the bolt is sheared off. I was literally using a gear wrench. So, don't know what happened. It was almost done. Wasn't even getting that tight and it just twisted off. I guess I'm going to have to try to drill and get an easy out. Hopefully get that piece out, and then if the threads are messed up, or we might have to try to get all the way through there and just put a bolt all the way through. Okay, we got this shock mount situation where the bolt broke off inside this end. So looking at it, it's threaded all the way through. I'm almost wondering if I could just cut this weld across the bottom and get this whole sleeve out, and then I could drill it and tap it, get it rethreaded, or at least maybe ream it out to where I not even thread it and use a full bolt all the way through. So I think I'm going to try that. I think it's just welded, well, across that bottom a ways. Otherwise we'll have to cut it out and re-sleeve the whole thing the same way anyway. So well, that is what we're going to attempt today. Okay, I ended up having to just cut that piece all the way off. I ended up drilling all the way through it. So I'm going to get me a 3/4 inch spacer for here. I need a 4.5 inch bolt, and then a drill bit so I can drill them threads out, and we'll just run a bolt all the way through everything. Hopefully I can get the right size bit and we can get it straight through there. Run to the hardware store and hope for the best. I'll probably get stuff for both sides, so I'd like to maybe just cut that off, and because that other side was a pain to get on also, because it's coarse threaded and I'm sure they were just seized. So, and it was pretty easy to cut that off, and if I get a good spacer and it works, we'll do the other side when I need to. Okay, after a lot of work, I've got it fully drilled out. I ended up having to get a bit with a 90 on it to get it straight through there. But the problem is this chuck is just a 1/4 inch impact drive, and so the biggest bit I could get was 1/2 inch, which luckily was the size I needed. By the time I got it through there, so now I can bolt it up. I need 3/4 inch of spacers there, so I guess I'm just gonna have to use washers on this side until I can find a piece of tubing that I could cut down to the right length. That is a tight fit. But yeah, I think we'll bolt the shock on there and see if it works. Okay, got the bottom side of the shock on. It's not tightened down. And since I need to space this with washers, I'm gonna go minimum what I need so the body of the shock clears right in here. So we'll start with about 4 and then see if we can get the shock on there and see if we clear. Okay, we got 4 on there. I think we could probably go by with 3. Well, I don't know, that boot's not quite in all the way. So maybe 4 will be all we can do. So let's tighten this up and see what it does. Okay, got the top tightened down. I've crushed the bushings enough to where the sleeve in there is fully tight. And we've got barely clearance. I think I'll put some maybe Loctite on this one and then back it off just a hair so it's not fully crushed, or maybe put another washer in there, I guess. Okay, ended up just putting another washer in there. Got it tightened down, got the bottom all done. I think we're ready for a test drive. I got a new bolt for the other side, so when I get around to it I'll have to just drill out through the middle, and then I can replace the threads inside there with just a bolt, because that other one was a little tricky getting in and out as well. It'll break soon. Okay, shocks are finally done, mostly. I'm going to do the passenger side eventually, like I did the driver's side on the fronts. I noticed the passenger front wheel was a little loose, so we pulled the hub off and tightened the nuts on the bearing. Just a tap and turn, just whatever we get, and it's a lot better now. Now we're into the service station to see how it drives and what our ride's going to be like. Okay, rode over to Maverick, fueled up, getting some snacks now. So far it doesn't lean and stay leaned around corners on the road. Ride seems a little bit better, so hopefully we're all ready to go out on the next ride. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.